the NSUSpartans.com football coaches show for the week of October 11th. Here with NSU football coach Pete Adrian. Coach, how are you doing this morning?
Okay, Matt.
The last time we spoke, getting ready to play South Carolina State. Of course, this past Saturday, your team on the losing end of a 34-13 game against South Carolina State. Obviously, you knew it would be a tough game going in with the defending conference champions there. But you got off to a quick early start, a touchdown in the first minute of the game. I imagine that was the kind of start you're looking for, the kind of spark that your team needed to get you going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we certainly had momentum first part of the first quarter right there for a couple of series and played very well. And unfortunately, we made a own mistake in the kicking game and two mistakes with a bad snap, and then you can't kick the ball off the ground like that. And as our luck would have it, it went right to their guy. I mean, it was an unbelievable play. The kicker with his back turn kicking the ball, and it goes 25 yards sideways right into the kid's arms for a 45-yard touchdown. And that really gave some momentum to South Carolina State, to say the least, on that. But, South Carolina State's won 21 straight. They're by far the best team in this conference. They proved that the week before, shutting out FAM at FAM. And, in order to beat them, you have to have everything go right. And if everything doesn't go right, you're going to have a tough time beating them. They deserve a top 10 ranking, as they have in the country. And, if somebody can beat them, my hat goes off to them.
You mentioned your team did have a lot of early momentum, and then that punt kind of turned things around a little bit. Even after that, the Bulldogs were able to score a couple times, kind of grind out some longer drives, and just not able to keep pace with them. How did you see that game unfold as the second and third quarter went along? It never seemed like it was really out of reach for you, but again, the South Carolina State defense was awfully tough.
Yeah, I mean, in the fourth quarter there, we got a couple turnovers and had great field position, and only got 3 points out of that. You've got to be able to score in that area like that. But we did make it 27-13 with about 8 minutes to go in the game, so it's a two-score game. So, you're against it, but it's not out of reach. Of course, they got the last score in the very end of the ball game on that, but they all count.
Sure. Now, South Carolina State has the number 1 ranked defense in the nation. Certainly, seemed like they were able to keep you out of sync a little bit and really kind of control the game from that point on. Is that, you think, the best defense that you might face this year? I
hope it's the best defense we face this year. I mean, to be honest about it, they did a better job than Rutgers did. Of course, they had a little more time to prepare, but they've always been very good on defense, and you let them get up and they're able to turn things loose on you, and that's what they do. And their kids play with a lot of reckless abandon because they're not worried about giving up a touchdown, and their offense is always managed very well. I mean, I said last week, Long is the best quarterback in the league because he runs the game very well, and he didn't have a great stat day, but his key was, other than the interception that he threw, of not making any mistakes and getting them in the right play versus the defense you're trying to play.
Now, it wasn't all bad news for the Spartans last week. We want to single out some players who also played particularly well. I thought Josh Turner had another really solid game officially with 7 tackles, but certainly a lot of other plays that he really was a disruptive force for your defense.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is by far the best nose guard in this league. There's no question about that. I mean, people just can't block him one-on-one, and he plays with hard intensity every time. There hasn't been a center yet in this league that's been able to beat him, including the guy at Rutgers, and we hope that continues to go on. Yeah, and we had moments we played well at times, but again, we got to get into a consistent flow, and we got to get some things moving.
And other than the mishandled snap, the low snap back to Troy Menzer, I thought Troy also had one of his better games punting the ball, but he was able to have time to get it off. He had some really nice punts as well.
Yeah, I mean, Troy's is an excellent punter for us and does a nice job. He does some things well. He's cool under pressure, and it's amazing. We had the bad snap, and Troy went down to get it, and he had his hands on the ground, and there's about an 8-inch space between his hands and the top of his legs right there, and the ball didn't touch anything. It bounced in that turf and bounced through there perfectly. You think it would bounce off his body or something like that, and then he just reacted too quick. He just knew the ball was back here. He should have just left the ball alone. You can't advance that. On a bad snap, you can't advance. It's like a muff punt. But unfortunately, we made the wrong decision.
Right. Now, looking forward, your team will be facing Hampton University this week. Hampton comes in with a 4-1 overall record and 3-0 in the conference. Does it help your team to get refocused and to get that emotion back up to play, knowing that you have your big rival coming up this Saturday?
Well, yeah, it certainly does. And of course, Hampton's got a great year going for them right now. They're playing very well on both sides of football, and 4-game winning streak. Their only loss being to a Division I football team. And we were talking as coaches. This is one of the better Hampton teams we've seen in a couple of years, and it's going to be a Donnybrook over there playing at their place, and we're going to have to pick our game up on both sides of football.
Now, last time you played Hampton, perhaps your best performance of the year last year, all around, offensively and defensively. You came out with a 46-6 win last year. Have you talked much about last year's game with your team, or do you just try to start new?
No, that was last year. Every team's different. Different personnel, different things like that, and these guys know that this is obviously a big game for both schools. And like you said, it gives you the bragging rights, of who's done what, because both kids really intermingle a lot together. There's a lot of kids right from the same area, back and forth on both football teams, and I'm always seeing Hampton football players over here in the off season.
And what do you think will be some of the keys to victory, both offensively and defensively, if you're going to come out with a win this week against Hampton?
Well, defensively, Hampton does a whole lot of motion, a lot of formations, and every type of play they have some type of trick play off of it. They've thrown several touchdowns against different opponents off of reverse passes, option passes, things like that. And so you always have to be ready for that. And, offensively, we've got to pick up the pace, and we've got to get the ball in the end zone. I don't care who we're playing with. That's got to get done.
All right, Coach, well, we wish you good luck this Saturday. Of course, a big game on the other side of the water, no matter what side of the water it's on. NSU versus Hampton, the Battle of the Bay, this Saturday at 1 o'clock at Hampton's Armstrong Stadium. We hope to see you all there. And, Coach, we'll talk to you next week, and hopefully the Spartans can pull out that big win this week and get you back to 500.
Okay, thank you.